Hi, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
Welcome back to our money game series. And I hope it's welcome back because we have one and we have two already recorded and posted.
And I hope you watch them.
Yes, please. Please do, because it will be a continuation of our conversations that we're having. Mm-hmm. Anyway, hi. My name's Corinne Labita.
I'm Nick Labita.
We're siblings.
Siblings, all right.
Blah, blah, blah. We're siblings who react to things, and welcome to our channel, Labita Loca Reactions. So weird, because I felt like it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
There you go.
So we've been tackling the money game series and having the kinds of conversations that I'm super excited about, and Nick has been dealing with it.
Well, because it's first time.
Yeah. So
for me to listen to it. So, you know, and so which has been, it's definitely been very interesting,
right?
You know, but it's interesting because, again, we have to stop right when we, for just possible copyright purposes, which is the whole point of this, right? We talk about Universal Music Group.
And yes, we do know that Ren lets people, but it's still nice to stop and have a conversation.
And I mean, that's, I think a lot of times that's what hopefully people are tuning into, right?
Right.
To hear us ramble about it. So, so anyways, so make sure you're watching, you've watched the other two there, or just, put it in a playlist and just binge all three,
or in our entire Ren playlist.
Oh yes. In fact, not just the Ren, just everything. Just go, make a day of it. You have nothing else to do.
You can put it in the background. We don't mind.
Yeah, I don't care. Yeah. Pop some popcorn. There you go.
Yep. Oh, his cats
great.
are...
My cats are destroying my house as we speak.
It's
great.
Cool.
It's cool. Okay. It's all right.
We're rolling with it.
We'll roll with it.
So anyway, as Nick kind of briefly touched on, we're doing the money game series because of the UMG thing. We're aware of it. Luckily, we're kind of safe because we're a tiny but mighty channel. But it felt very prescient for us to do the money games while this whole fiasco plays itself out. And since Ren has been the champion of reactors, and I just saw him post that he's going to try and meet with UMG people as well as YouTube.
Oh, cool.
To exert whatever influence he can. I forgot to say that in the very first video, and chances are we're going to get comments, but that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I want to see that. Ren has been like the champion of reactions for forever. So it felt right to do this. So getting into the third one, we're pretty excited about this. So let's go.
All right, let's do it, because I think it's a long one.
It's a long one.
And...
tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17, and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18, and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then the lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. $35, he gets a call. I'm sorry son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack, I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour. Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
All right.
All right. So on a musical sense, I feel like the very beginning is a quote of something. It could be. I don't know. It may or may not be. It sounds like a quote. Bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum.
So
you know?
he
because it almost sounds like it could be like even, I don't know, like a Rachmaninoff thing or, you
right.
know.
Well, he composed it himself.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But I mean, obviously drawing from inspiration.
Right,
and,
right.
And whatever.
So, overall, all right, kudos to piano there. I know everyone's like, oh, he's a piano player. Look, yeah, do Money Paint Part 3 because there's piano in it. Yes.
Here you go,
good.
piano
yeah,
guy.
Yeah. So overall, the music itself, of course, minor key. Right,
Mm-hmm.
minor keys are usually darker sounding, and it's just obviously this is not a tale that's going well. You know,
right.
Despite the idea is from the get go, right? We talked about from the belief system, right, instilled by parents, right?
Yes.
And the idea is how much is enough? Well, it's never enough.
It's never enough.
It's never enough. And then, but then the parent who established the belief system dies, and then the world starts crumbling. Yeah.
So it's interesting, especially with like this specific story, but I think it's such a great larger conversation where it's like he's not actually chasing money.
Right.
He's chasing approval. He's chasing his father's approval, using money as the vehicle to try and gain that.
Right.
So like it's really like money is just the middleman or the intermediary thing of the thing that he's actually trying. Yeah,
it's the means to
an end. He actually wants approval, and the reason why he wants approval is because he doesn't feel worthy.
Right.
And that sense of I'm not worthy until I get my father's approval causes him to make all of these terrible decisions to try and gain money and power of this elusive thing.
Right.
And so that's when
he cannot get.
That he cannot get because it's not within his power to get that.
And then his father's death robs him of it.
Yeah, of the one thing he wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
Because at least from what I gather from the lyrics, the father never says at any point like,
I am proud of you.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
You know, you are
You've
doing
done
great.
enough.
Right.
Yeah,
You've done
you are enough. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. And so that gets into the whole thing about codependence and our relationship with codependence and how everything, you have to divorce the idea of codependence as just like a interpersonal, like human to human thing. Codependence can also talk about the larger structural process, our relationship to everything, especially politics, money, system, like the systems in which we came into. And so I'll get more into that in the end, but like keep that in your mind that like all of this misery was started because of a codependent a toxic relationship with his father.
Yep.
And I think that's so interesting. So.
And it's amazing what something like that could snowball into.
Yes.
And how it could affect everyone.
And everything.
And everything.
Yeah. And it goes into that axiom, as above, so below, as within, so without. Because we live in a fractal universe, which is to say patterns that, like, as you zoom in, you get more repeating patterns over and over again. So the larger pattern of what we see in society is a direct reflection of how we feel internally and how those play out. So cool. All right, let's finish this up and then we'll go.
Yeah, go for it.
Then
we'll go nuclear.
And then
The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
Yay, string quartet.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music. This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution? Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive with parasites inside a petri petri dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise. "45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game."
How's that feel at 45?
I know. Jeez, thanks for using that age. I'm 45.
What?
I know. Hard to believe. Like, oh, jeez. Man. Well, it's funny. He just talked about what we had just talked about. Mm-hmm. You know, the idea and all that. Now, this is an aside. Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank God. I was like, the Rain is like, you are not putting Rain on those instruments, the string quartet. Like, holy cow.
Apparently the violinist accidentally got wet.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, it looked like it too.
He had to like... It wasn't supposed to happen, but it happened by accident. Okay. Yeah.
Oops. Sorry, that was an aside, but
musician.
Yeah, can't tell. Yeah, it was so where I was like, you can't help, you know. And I'm not even a string player, but you know, you can't tell a knee-jerk reaction like, oh no. It's like when they drop a guitar, so I'm like, you know.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Any final thoughts? I mean, from
you know, it's funny. I think he's very good at just laying it all out there, you know, and like, yes, there's metaphor, but I think it was just, there it is for you to see, you know,
right.
to concept. And it's just, the funny thing just keeps popping in my head is, it's from a Prince song. Prince says, you know, money can't buy happiness, but it'll sure pay for the search.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it just kept popping in my mind. You know, it was tongue in cheek.
That's amazing.
But even in a darker sense, that's still true, right?
Right.
It's not buying happiness, but it's paying for the search for something that obviously he couldn't get in the end.
Right.
In this particular parable.
Right.
You know, but yeah, that's just what I kept thinking. You know, money can't buy happiness, but it'll sure pay for the search. You know?
Yeah.
But then, you know, there's again, we're just seeing obviously the destructive side of what you're saying, codependency, right? And how in the end it was, you know, it's a tragic tale, I guess you could say that.
It is, yeah.
You know, but you know, what's not sad is how many people they take down with them, you know, something like that. Because you know, sometimes when it's that toxic, there's collateral damage. I mean, you hope not, but there's many times collateral damage.
Yeah. Because we're in an ecosystem. Yeah, absolutely.
So, and it's codependency, right? So, with that ecosystem. So
and okay, yeah, and that you actually led really well into what I like. The final kind of thoughts of this entire Money Game series is like, you know, going back to codependence in its most stripped down form. How I personally am going to define it is seeking outside of yourself for meaning, for what you want for yourself. And the thing is, and so you're looking like to an outside source to give you what you want. Codependence. What I think is happening right now within our larger structures as we watch them crumble in real time in front of us is that enough people are starting to question the codependent model that we were all raised in, because we were, and I'm talking Western society, but even Eastern societies all have that, like you have an outside authority that tells you what you can and can't do, and you're beholden to it. Anything outside of yourself that you are beholden to, that's a codependency. What we need to start getting into is interdependency, where everything you need for yourself comes from you. And I'm not talking about like external, like, oh, I need food that I don't have time to grow. But like that Prince quote was amazing.
Yeah.
You can only find happiness within yourself. That is something that you grant to yourself. That is something that you decide for you, that I am going to find the things that bring me joy. And I'm going to actively give that my attention, that I am going to find the things that make me happy, because nothing else can give it to me. No one can do that for you. No one can give you the life that you want. Only you can do that. We're all autonomous, sovereign beings. If you think that if only those people will change, then I'll be happy, I'll be safe, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. No one can give that to you. And yes, there are complexities. People can do harm to you. And yet, they can't make you feel anything other than what you choose to feel. Okay? Yeah, there are complexities. I'm talking in generalities here. And I'm sure there are going to be plenty of commenters who are like, well, what about this situation? What about that situation? I understand that there are so many complexities to what I am saying. But as a larger idea, just chew on it and think about, like, what does personal sovereignty mean to you? What does personal autonomy mean to you? And so, like, when you go from a codependent, external, you're beholden to outside structures and outside authority to tell you how to live, versus interdependence, where we acknowledge that we're all individuals doing our thing, but we can come together, like-minded people can come together in community and each bring something to the table that then creates a community that raises everyone up. And Ren is a perfect example of that, right? A whole lot of different people with different beliefs and different ideas about how things should be are uniting under an enjoyment and love of the complexities of what Ren is presenting, forming a community of individuals that are then lifting each other up. That's interdependence.
Well, and you could say that for any artist who has a fan base, any fan base, right? It doesn't matter, even if it's a small fan base,
exactly.
That's
community where leadership is more fluid. That is all interdependence, where you acknowledge the rights of the individual, but then allow the collective to be informed and bettered by those individuals, and then lift those individuals up, right? And so it's that whole rising tides lift all ships idea is a great way of saying interdependence. So yeah, I love this series. I love the conversations that it inspires. I mean, again, I wish I had 6 hours so I can go more in depth in this stuff, but we don't. And we're already made this very long, and you can see how Nick is just like, okay, stop talking.
See the eyes darting left and right.
But I don't care. This is what I have been waiting so long to have these kinds of conversations. Yeah. And again, this is just my opinion. Please don't, this is just my opinion of how I've seen things based on my background, my beliefs, my perceptions of things, right? I would love to hear your opinions. And please know that I'm not trying to push anything. It's just more of chew on these ideas for funsies. Throw it away if you're like, nah, that's cool. Yeah, please throw it away if you're not into it. Or if you are curious, I would love to have that conversation as well. So all of that to say, comment, subscribe. Watch all our videos. Share.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that this is it is so easy to go bleak. And it's so easy to go helpless, but don't do that. Don't do that, because what you believe is true is going to show up in your world, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's okay to acknowledge how hard things is. Definitely, shit is hard right now. And how many people are coming together in community.
Right.
And let's give that our attention, and let's give that the power of our attention. I mean, it matters. So, yeah.
And how many of you come together in the Lobita Loca community?
Yeah, we want more
2.
of you. Rachel and Mike.
Yeah.
No, we have
No, we get Darren. We'll get Darren.
We have Darren. We also Steve. Steve is lovely.
Okay.
We love Steve.
Jenny Jans.
Jenny Jans.
That's 5.
Marma.
I know you talk about, but I can't. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry,
There's a few of you, and we love you. We love you. We love you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
If you stayed for all 3 videos and watched all the way through and didn't hate us at
God
the end,
bless you.
we love you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
We truly, we normally don't touch heavy topics for a reason. And yet, I also think that it's good to have larger philosophical conversations to break up the patterns of thought. So that you can allow for newer possibilities. And that is the beauty of conversation. That's why we wanted to build community so that we can be the interconnected expressions of positivity, joy, and support.
There you go.
All right, I'm done.
All right. There you go. She is satisfied.
For now.
For now. Until the next one. Yes.
Yes. So thank you, everyone.
Yes. Thank you very much. And like she said, like, share, subscribe. We hope you're having a good day.
Yeah.
Hoping, everything is going well for you. Mm-hmm. We do wish the best for everyone out there.
We do.
So.
Yeah. We want happy lives for everyone.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Please. And if not, please do something, hopefully to seek happiness if you can. Mm-hmm. If you can.
Yeah.
There. Okay?
Absolutely.
Until next time, YouTube, take care.
Mwah.
Bye.
Bye.